What up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up? What's going on, everybody? What is going on? And listen, man, we've been a little MIA, been a little busy as we gear up here towards the holiday. You know what I'm saying? Gotta get a couple of things done, gotta put in some work. So we've been a little MIA. Don't worry, nobody's put me in the safe, no matter how much they want to. I would love to see them try it, if you know what I mean. But nah, that ain't happen. Anyways, um, but just wanted to chime in on all the noise we've heard the last few days, the last week or so. Of course, after the GM meetings and all that, and on the heels of an article by Jeff Passan, who's very well respected. Everybody takes his words seriously, almost like Bible. Oops, maybe shouldn't use that analogy, but he put out an article, and that's an opinion article, but because it's Jeff Passan, it's a lot of weight put behind it, right? And you start thinking, oh my gosh, it's Jeff Passan. Is it what he's saying? Is this really gonna happen? If he's saying it, there must be something going on, right? And then we also yesterday had the New York Mets finalize their coaching staff. So again, just want to react to all that. Don't forget, even though your boy was MIA for a little bit, give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Let the people know, man. Let's get the algorithm up. Let's get this out there so we can get some more people watching this. Some blunt thoughts, right? Because here we come and we give you blunt thoughts. We don't, you know what I mean? Go either way. We're not biased one way or the other. We're not always pro Mets, although we are pro Mets at heart. We tell it how it is. Um, and it starts with the coaching staff. Am I gonna come here and tell you, hey man, listen, all great hires by the Mets? I don't know. I sure hope so. The truth is, a lot of these names I never even heard of before. Call me a casual, call me a bad fan, call me whatever. How the hell you a content creator? You don't know these guys. Okay, whatever, man. Um, and I was listen. Anyways, the point is now we have these guys, and I'm rooting for them, and they have a resume. Some of them are in-house hires that have been promoted. Nobody's ever going to complain about that. You want to see guys that work hard get their opportunity, right? Get promotions, especially if it comes from within and it's from guys that have been doing good within your organization, right? So we know already the hires that we already knew about: the bench coach Kai Correa. We knew about the hitting coach Jeff Albert. We knew that Troy Snicker was going to be his assistant hitting coach. Um, we had heard rumors about Justin Willard being the pitching coach. I think that was actually made final yesterday, or maybe a couple of days before. And then we have the new hires, right? The new appointees. We had Rafael Fernandez, who's actually one of the guys that's coming back. Not too many, right? We only had what, two guys coming back, maybe three guys coming back. Well, Rafael Fernandez is one of them. Three guys coming back. Rafael Fernandez is one of them, who was just a coaching assistant before, who was there to throw batting practice, left-handed batting practice, I believe. Well, now he's an assistant hitting coach. I had joked around the room like, hey, maybe he becomes the hitting coach. At least definitely an assistant. Well, there he is. He's an assistant. You also got Danny Barnes returning, right? And he, I think before, from what I read, and I read an article by Anthony DeComo and MLB.com, and then I read an article in the Post. I don't even know who the heck wrote the article. Let me make sure so I can give them credit. Mark Sanchez wrote the article in the Post, just talking about these coaches and where they're coming from and stuff like that. Danny Barnes, we already knew he was on the team, and I thought he was like an assistant pitching coach to Hefner and stuff like that. But before he was the strategy coach, well, now he's going to be the quality assurance coach. And we also have the bullpen coach returning, Jorge Rosado. Now, as far as I gave you already an assistant hitting coach, Troy Snicker, and also Rafael Fernandez. That's a little interesting to me. So, and not that you listen to Eric Chavez, right? But he talked about the multiple hitting coaches and stuff, and we know this is all over the league. What you really need is a, 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 a direct line, right? To know where the process starts from and where it goes, and so on and so forth. So we know already director of Major League Hitting. I still get bugged out by the article. Director of Major League Hitting, Jeff Albert, right? Well, he has two assistant hitting coaches. Again, Troy Snicker, Rafael Fernandez. As far as the pitching coach, that's normal. Justin Willard is the pitching coach, and he's coming from Boston. He had been their director of pitching, good reputation. They've done well. They got good pitching coming up. I saw there was an article talking about how everybody's happy with the progress and with the way they've been doing with their pitching, and it's finally going to start showing now. So that's someone that maybe you want to bring in. And now he's the pitching coach. on the major league level. Listen, the most important thing is get these guys to throw strikes. Whoever the hell it is that we bring here. Obviously, if you bring better pitchers, they'll be able to do that on their own more than these other guys that we've had. But just make sure we get these guys to throw strikes, man. Attack the zone. Maybe we get some more innings and so on and so forth. But whatever, man. I'm not gonna get into that pitch shaping and nah. That's for them. That's not for me, and that's for other people to talk about. That's for other people to talk about. Um, but under Willard, you have Dan McKinney. Now, Dan McKinney's been with the Mets. Again, I don't really know. I don't get into the minors too much. I tell you guys, when a prospect get close, I pay attention. You want to call me ignorant? You want to call me dumb? You want to call me ill-informed? At least I don't come out here and talk about stuff that I don't know. I'll tell you what I don't know, and what I do know, I tell you what's my opinion and what's not. I can read just like everybody else when I need to. What I'm not going to do is come here and tell you when somebody complains about hitting coaches. I may say, hey, be patient. The players got to get it done too, but I also understand. I'm not going to be those guys that are going to tell you, oh, that doesn't matter. The coaching doesn't matter. Oh, you worried about hitting coach? You worried about a first base coach? And then those same people will come and tell you how all these hires are great. Oh my gosh, the Mets did a great hiring here. There's a great job by the Mets here. There's a great job by the Mets hiring this guy. Well, if the other person can't say that they're a little disappointed that someone was let go or whatever the case may be, you can't come and tell us how everybody that's hired is great. Cut it out. Anyways, that PSA is over. Oh my gosh, maybe this is why I need to stay away. Dan McKinney, been with us for a while, has worked with all the three prospects, pitching prospects that we saw last season. So that's a good thing. As we hope those guys will continue to come up. Those three, we know McLean will be here. We'll see about Sport and Tongue. And when I say be here, I mean even with the team. Well, no, McLean will definitely be here. Hopefully, don't trade. You don't trade Nolan McLean. But if you got to trade a Sport or a Tongue to go get a Scooble, to go get a Skeens or whatever the case may be, then you do it, right? But if they're still in the organization, we don't know if they'll be on the major league level. But when they do, at least they'll have a guy working with them that's helped them get to the level of prospect that they are, where we're excited to hopefully see those guys become a big part of what we're trying to do here, both in the near and far future. So that's your assistant pitching coach. And again, it's a lot of feel good to what the Mets did yesterday. As the first base coach who will replace Antoine Richardson, the world liked Antoine Richardson, will be somebody who I wonder if is related to my grandmother. Same last name, my maternal grandmother. But Gilbert Gomez or Hilbert Gomez. Gomez. And he's been with the Mets for 8 years. No. Yeah, he's been with the Mets for 8 years. Obviously in different levels or whatever. Last year, he managed Brooklyn to a championship. He will now be your first base coach. We'll see how that works out. Don't know much about him. But what we do know is, and I've said this before, David Stearns, for the most part, chose coaching, chose the players over the coaches. He put most of the blame with his moves, even without saying it, on the coaches. We saw him talk about in the GM meetings, and when he was asked directly about how to make the team improve, how you going to improve the defense that you've talked about, besides bringing in other players, his answer was the coaching. We've talked to these guys about getting better, and we've brought in coaches here that will help us and help these guys to be better because those are their strong suits. All these guys have reputations of being defensive coaches and so on and so forth. But that is now the coaching staff that Carlos Mendoza now has under him, that he and David Stearns have now built entirely. The only holdover here before they got here now is Danny Barnes. Everybody else is new. Maybe Rafael Fernandez. I'm not sure exactly when he joined the coaching staff, but everybody else is new. No more holdovers. No more Chavez. No more Hefner. No more Jeremy Barnes. And so on and so forth. I know they hired Gibbons. I believe they hired Sorbo as well. Yeah, obviously. because Joey Cora was our third base coach under Buck, and obviously Antoine. But now they have their own complete staff. There's no more finger pointing. The next fingers are pointed at you guys. Some already have been pointing at you guys. Nonetheless, it's exciting. It's exciting. New things are always exciting, right? The unknown is always exciting. Sometimes it can be scary, but exciting nonetheless. Let's hope and see the effect that these guys have. And I almost forgot. We have a new catching coach, JP Arancibia, who played, I think maybe even played for the Mets. I'm not sure. But played in the league for about 5-6 years. He's been coaching with the Mets. Forget how long now. He was a bench coach, assistant hitting coach at AAA Syracuse last year. Gets a lot of credit for Alvy figuring things out when he was sent down to the minors. Supposed to have a good relationship with Alvy. So these are all good things. These are all good things. I'm not someone who dismisses coaching. I think it does have an effect. I think it does have an effect. We'll see what these guys have an effect. I'm rooting for them. I'm excited for them. I just don't know much about them. I'm gonna be honest with you. And I'm not gonna sit here and tell you, oh, because I read this. Oh, you don't know? Shame on you. No, it's okay. It's okay. The most important thing is players. The most important thing is players. And there's a lot of talk about that as we get ready to wrap this up. But we do want to get on that real quick. Like we said, Jeff Passan put out an article. He threw a lot of stuff out there. Threw a lot of names that may be available, that the Mets are making available, or that the Mets are listening in on. He threw out Brandon Nimmo name out there. He threw Jeff McNeil's name out there. He threw Kodai Senga's name out there. He threw Brett Beatty's name out there. And we'll see what happens. Obviously, this team needs to be improved. And obviously, a way to improve a team is by making trades. So you may have to trade some of those guys. But are the Mets actively out there trying to trade those guys? Would the Mets have liked for those guys' names to be put out there, especially a guy like a Brandon Nimmo? A Brandon Nimmo who's been a great Met. A Brandon Nimmo who's talked about how important it is for him to win a World Series with the New York Mets. And here you have fans and people talking about send Brandon Nimmo to Colorado. It's close to home. Really? And you think Brandon Nimmo's going to want to accept that Brandon Nimmo with a no trade clause, which complicates even trading Brandon Nimmo? All I can think is, man, we heard David Stearns talk about how we've spoken to these players and we're in contact with these players. And we told them how we want them to improve. He mentioned Soto. He mentioned Nimmo. We want him to work on defense and this, so on and so forth. Well, I hope you spoke to Brandon Nimmo about the fact that you got his name out there in trades and see how he feels about it and where he might even approve a trade. And it goes for all those guys. A Jeff McNeil, Brett Beatty, but even a Kodai Senga. These are guys that if you're not able to make a trade, we'll be back in that clubhouse and you're going to have to look at in the face. And how's that going to go? In a clubhouse that we already have questions about. Listen, at the end of the day, all I want is the New York Mets to win. So whatever you do, David Stearns, just make sure it leads to winning. As far as I'm concerned, all eyes are on you right now. And the time to win is now, my guy. The time to win is now. You want to walk away from Pete Alonso? Okay. You want to walk away from Edwin Diaz? Okay. You better be right. You better be right. But I don't think you could trade a Brandon Nimmo. Now, Jeff McNeil, I've been saying for a while. I'm a big Jeff McNeil fan. But it might be time to move on from Jeff McNeil. And listen, Jeff McNeil fills a lot of places, a lot of pieces, a lot of holes. He is versatile. But maybe you can go out there and you can improve this team by trading a Jeff McNeil and making your bullpen stronger. I don't know. Maybe Brett Beatty could be part of a piece with only maybe one of your top 5 prospects to go get you a front of the line starter. And a couple of other prospects as well, obviously. I'm not going to say it's to take 2 pieces to get one of these guys. But maybe Brett Beatty did build up his value enough to be part of a move like that. I don't know. Or maybe it's a lesser move just to change the dynamic of the team. Maybe he's part of getting you a real center fielder while you wait for Carson Bench. Maybe that guy is Mark Vientos. Although, me personally, I'd be less inclined to trade Mark Vientos. Now, for some who assume right away when you post something like that you're saying put Mark Vientos at third base, that's not what I'm saying. Although I'm not totally opposed to that either. Yes, I'm not. Anyhow, we know we like to keep these short, right? We don't like to make them too long. So this is a morning blunt, which is now going to be an afternoon blunt, early afternoon blunt by the time it comes out. But again, if you like, make sure you thumbs up, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Let the people know. Let me know in the comments what you think or not. All good. All good. But excited to see what these coaches bring to see if they can improve. Because someone like me, I feel like our players should have been better last year. And I know they do as well. Now, they have to put in the work. But maybe these coaches could put them in better position to succeed. We shall see. Only time will tell. But we also need better players. And bringing back 2 of our in limbo players right now, Pete Alonso and Edwin Diaz, may be a good start, Mr. Stearns. It may just be a good start. And anyways, enjoy your Thursday, everybody. You already know what it is. LFGM all day, every day. Peace.
Full of animals and we made ourselves with minimal. Fuck you, no subliminals. Putting in this work, nigga. That's why they feelings hurt, nigga. Swear we need a hearse cause we rep our shites to the dirt, nigga. If I'm in the club